Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.
I think I see the volume markers go up on that screen. The volume is officially on. I don't think I can do another time where I'm filming an entire thing, get to the editing process, and just like, and now I have to do over. Saturday video to one side. Oh dear. I have been wanting to do a tag in a while. I think I got tagged by Pat from Book Chat with Pat, did a mystery madness tag, but that I think that was a tag specifically for March because of an event. But I've been wanting to do a tag, and I thought I think I got tagged because I recognized that there was somebody with a similar name to me. Clicked on it. There is no channel with it. Well, there is a channel, but there's no content. It doesn't have content, and so I'm assuming maybe it was meant for me, but I don't know. Pat, if you're watching, please confirm or deny. But I'm taking it anyways because my tag does not work still, so I don't get much. Yeah, I don't get tagged much. It's fine. But yeah, I'm taking that and I'm running with it. I could have just like picked any other tag that I have more to say on when it comes to books, because I think I have read one mystery that is properly a crime novel that I can think of. I forgot to grab all of the books that I was going to talk about because I prepped this. Oh, give me a second. Literally grabbing two books. So this is going to be quite a book light tag, mainly because I haven't read deeply into the mystery genre. It's not something I usually reach for, but I do have a bunch of Agatha Christie's waiting for me to pick them up. But I also expanded the definition to include media, because I grew up watching a lot of crime procedurals because that's what my parents were watching, so I'm familiar with tropes and stuff. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on with the tag. My answers are over there. What was your first experience of reading a mystery, and what was it like? I'm grabbing a horror. This is technically the third book I've ever read. Without school forcing me to read, etc. And the first two were children's books by Jacqueline Wilson, and then I just like grabbed this one from the library, from school, and it was The Unseen by Richie Tankersley. Kuzik. Sorry, my brain really was struggling with that font. And it's not exactly clear on the front either because it's in a blue, but this is a point horror. But we literally start off in a graveyard, and our protagonist is visiting the grave of her parents, and she stumbles across an open grave, and there's a girl in it. And this is actually something I remember drawing. So yeah, I drew a girl finding a girl in a grave. These are teenagers age, not like young like but teenage-esque age. And I kind of drew it in the style of Jacqueline Wilson, the art that appears in the Jacqueline Wilson covers. So already like there was a bit of a shift in my brain. I remember that specifically, but this was like a big mystery of who is this girl, why is she dead, how did she die, who killed her, what killed her, what is this entity now following our protagonist. And so it was horror. The experience of reading it, I need to justify this by saying I wasn't actively reading. I renewed this so much. I don't know if this isn't the same copy. I bought this online, but the text is massive. I don't know if this was the same copy, but looking into this, I'm hoping. Oh dear, because this took me a year to read. It took me, my teenage self, one entire school year to read. Oh god. But I renewed it so many times and I got like one page closer, but I remember it. I do remember it. I remember skipping a chapter even because I wasn't at mental puberty, and there was a scene where the protagonist undressed and the entity was watching. So yeah, I kind of I was I enjoyed it, but I was taking my sweet ass time with it. So yeah, the early days reading, it's hilarious. Number 3. Are there any people that played a significant role in your mystery reading journey? So, reading, not really, but I have been getting a lot of hype over Agatha Christie's, and then there were none. I have yet to find it, but I'm very much looking forward to picking up my first Agatha Christie novel, even though I have seen a lot of Poirot. But I will say, probably my nana and my parents, because of what they watch. My nana, I'll answer it now. My nana watched Columbo and Poirot. I can't remember if she didn't like Poirot, but she still watched it. um, and then my parents were NCIS, CSI, Criminal Minds. They still kind of watch all the cop shows. I kind of really started hating them in recent years because I'm starting to see the problematic stuff. I think the biggest one that I hated was, it was quite obviously the tattooed from head to toe person, because she was frustrated with how her mother didn't love her the same way as the perfect child. Could have done, like, twisted it on its head, going, "Oh no, it was the perfect." No, it's a little too straightforward and simplistic compared to Poirot and Columbo. I like those. I like those shows. They're really cool. So yeah, my parents made me hate procedural cop shows. But I love detective whodunits. Very weird, I know. But here we go. What is your favorite mystery and why? Okay, so early on in my reading, again, this isn't technically mystery crime, although I don't know what genre to put this in. I nearly had a shelf with insert thing here, but I knew if somebody saw it on that shelf, that is technically a spoiler because that is the big reveal. So, the book was no name by anonymous author. It is a massive mystery as what is this book? Why does everybody who read it die? Why do they die? What is about this book? What is going on with the Bourbon Kid? There's a guy dressed up as Elvis, and yeah, oh, and Elvis is a hitman. There's this woman who doesn't have any memory and has been looked after by the bartender. What is her deal? There is just so much going on. I remember being a teenager and absolutely loving it because it was so chaotic. There was everything going on. Elvis was stuck to the ceiling at one point, and there's a scarecrow. And there are police in it. There are police trying to solve things. So yeah, that this was a big pivotal moment in my reading because it was absolutely fun, spectacular. And if I read it again, I'm not too sure, but I did find quite, I think just before my book buying ban was like insistedly inserted into my life, I found in July the sequel, The Eye of the Moon. I found the sequel in a charity shop and I bought it because so yes, I could actually continue. I could reread this and continue it on just to have that nostalgic. I read this back when I was in my my discovering books phase. Yeah, I think, oh god, was I in uni? I think I was in the first year of uni. Oh my god. So I was like still teenage, young adult type age. And I absolutely loved it. It was a good fun romp. I absolutely mega. There's just so much going on and brilliant. I remember having such a brilliant time with it. So yeah, it's my favorite because of the fond memory of reading it and discovering I like a book. And yeah, it was so chaotic, and I am a chaotic person. So yeah. What question am I on again? Oh, number 5. Which mystery protagonist do you prefer? Maple or Poirot, Nancy Drew, or the Hardy Boys, or somebody else? I'm gonna go Poirot over Marple because I am not familiar with Marple. I grew up watching Poirot with my nana, as well as Columbo. I can't, and that is just seeped into me. If it's somehow on the telly back, even after my nana had passed away, I watched it. I was watching telly. If it came on, that's it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm watching Poirot. I'm watching Columbo. They're on. They all. I don't care about any other cop show, but if it's Poirot and Columbo, I, I will watch them because it kind of makes me feel like Nana sat next to me, and watching with me in a way, but also not. I am aware that she's not with me, but it's kind of like that nice little sweet hint of something I used to do with my nana, and I do enjoy it. I actually do enjoy watching them. Um, I love Poirot. So I have watched the recent movies that came out, and that was actually my first experience with Murder on the Orient Express, and I cried. And yeah, that was. I'm going to have a preference for Poirot, maybe over Columbo, mainly because I've had more exposure to Poirot than I have Columbo, and I do have a few Poirot novels that I am looking forward to diving into. So I think there's that preference there. That's that preference. I think I can answer number 2 now. If anybody thought I was skipping 2, I'm not skipping 2. What has the reading of a mystery novel ever startled you? What was the book, and where were you when it happened? This has to link into Poirot because I'm not a type to. I mean, I can't. I will jump at jump scares and stuff like that. But I think the most effective time where I felt startled was when a few years ago I saw the last story of Poirot where Poirot is dying and he's just looking back over some cases and he failed to get this man arrested. And it was startling, it was shocking, and I was stunned by the whole thing. And it was just solidified my love for Poirot, but at the same time, so yeah, we have an aging Poirot. We are seeing this one man manipulate other people into committing murder. How does Poirot catch somebody like that? And the whole thing just startled me. Just oh, it was startling to learn how Poirot went about doing something. Because he even Hastings was part of being manipulated into killing somebody, and Poirot having to get there and manipulate him out of it. And oh, even this guy was getting under Poirot's skin. Oh, I was like, yeah. So yeah, I needed to explain my love for Poirot before answering this one, because despite having a horror, despite having every chaotic thing happen, I think the most startling thing was just watching Poirot's last story. And I did catch it after it started, so I missed the beginning, but I did stick around with it to get the main gist of the story, and it was just, oh my god. So that seems to be my main experience. Is I missed the beginning bit, and then I'm watching the moment I see it's on, and I saw it was on, and I think I was in a student house. I was in a student house. I think I'm assuming I was there. Or was I not? I can't remember. I can't remember where I was, but because I've been watching Poirot over the years. Whenever I find it on, that's it. That's literally it. So yeah. Which mystery do you wish you could read again for the first time? No spoilers. Oh, I will not pick this one because it's deeply tied to my reading growing up, and so those two books I'm not going to include. I will pick Girl on the Train. This was actually the only crime novel that is specifically a crime novel that I've read. But yeah, I will gladly read that for the first time, because that just expectation of what it was versus what it actually was when I was reading it. And I was like, oh my god, mysteries are like this? I didn't realize this. This is so engaging, and it was actually the quickest book I've ever read. I read it so quickly, and it blew my mind. I loved it, and even just learning the red, because I even clocked onto the red hair, like the guy that did it. I was like, hang on a minute, that guy hasn't popped up in a while. Why aren't we focusing on this guy? No, I was quite I enjoyed reading it, even though it was like quite depressing and dark, and like and it touches upon domestic emotional abuse. Yeah, domestic emotional abuse. It's not great, but at the same time, this kind of changed how I viewed mystery novels, because I generally thought it was going to be like procedural cop show. No, that kind of made me want to read way more mystery. I haven't, but I'm wanting to, and yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that start. I was actually interested in reading mystery before that, but I just never got around to doing it. But reading Girl on the Train and realizing it's so much more than just procedural cop show. Yeah, that was incredibly like disturbing. So yeah, I would gladly read that and have my brain flipped again for the first time. I suppose if that answer could change when I start reading Agatha Christie, but yeah. What mystery or mystery series would you like to adapt for the big or small screen, and why? Do you have any casting choices in mind? What is your favorite adaptation of a mystery or mystery series? Um, right, so they're all going to get adapted at some point. So there's no point in me saying which one I want to get adapted. Girl on the Train's got an adaptation. There's so many adaptations that just happen. They're pretty much going through all of I think mystery is the first thing that gets adapted over fantasy and sci-fi, because I'm more interested in seeing those get adapted and seeing how they get adapted. Whereas mystery, that's going to get adapted regardless. um, as for my favorite adaptation, can I just cheat and say the Knives Out franchise is adapting everything we love about crime and mystery, flipping it on its head in so many ways, whilst also pivoting to make it so human. And it's like I think the Knives Out franchise is becoming a love letter to what we love in mystery stories. And so I think that even though it's not an actual adaptation, I want to give that a shout out as love letters to these like amazing stories, and just how it likes to invert things, flip things on its head, and just make things work. And it's absolutely amazing. Each installment I have seen so far, phenomenal. But if I was to say an adaptation, of a mystery, oh, I've not actually seen enough of what I have currently read to say yes, this is a good adaptation. But it's fine. What I will say is I have seen the adaptation of Anxious People. Is it my favorite adaptation? No. I don't know. I'm just not convinced by it. Did they do a good job? They did a pretty good job of adapting it. That's all I can say. Do any mysteries intimidate you? If yes, what mystery or mystery series and why? I think it's just going to be starting Agatha Christie. There's so many, and there's one thing admiring the adaptations of Christie, but at the same time, I haven't actually picked up the book to get a grasp of the writing style. Because that's always a fear of when you do like an adaptation, you're worried about actually reading the book. And for me, I struggle with writing style and if I'm going to click with it. So I think that's my biggest worry, is getting into Agatha Christie and realizing might not gel with the writing style. That's like my biggest fear. But other than that, I'm not worried. No, I'm not. Reading is intimidating for a dyslexic. What tips would you give to readers hesitant to read mysteries? Honestly, probably the same tips of just trying to find anything that you like. You've got to read around, pick up a book, see if it gels, see if it doesn't. If not, put it down, find something else. That's I don't really have reading tips other than keep trying. um, Also, put your expectations by the door, because part of the fun of reading is being pleasantly surprised. I like the journey of finding what I like. I like that joy of discovering something is amazing. And I do think more people should embrace that journey. I mean, sometimes it can be frustrating when you just get a lot of books that you don't necessarily like, but at the same time, it is part of the process. You might just realize you're not a mystery person in that process, and that's fine. I mean, how do you know you don't like it if you don't try it? So, yeah, I don't really have any tips. Have you ever helped solve a crime or been part of something that sounds like it could have been in a mystery novel? Tell us about it. Does trying to prevent shoplifting count? Because I work in a shop, we get a lot of five-finger discount attempts. Some of it falls through, some of it is like, where the hell is that security guard? They're never around when you need one. Because we are in a place where we do have security, but one of the teenager lads was kicking a ball, kicked one in the face of my colleague, and when they did in fact come back, and we had to stand by the door, and we were expecting the security people to be at the front door, but no, they came running through the back, and they went running, and it's not really something that kind of would be in a crime novel. It's just average, everyday life in a shop. You get the five-finger discount that people try a lot, and it's trying to catch it. That's all. Trying to check the security cameras to see where the hell my stack of jeggings went. Nope, they just got their bag and went for them. So yeah, it's just shop floor shenanigans. That's all I'm saying. Not, I don't know. It's the typical like small everyday thing that crime novels don't really focus on, because people read for the big bombastic stuff, not the mundane little stuff. But we do get some hilarious things that happen in our shop that is to do with crime. And some of it's not so fun. But yeah, I just wanted to do this tag because, well, it's been about a while since I've done a tag. I don't get tagged because of, as aforementioned, my tag don't work. If you want to do this tag yourself, tag your it. Bye!